thought I could find the student union on memory. Either it's moved or I was lost, I don't know, but it certainly didn't come right back to me as I thought it would. What a great idea to have an organization like College Republicans. I was so happy when Nicole asked me if I would come and speak to you, because as everyone probably has told you, you are the future of the Republican Party. It's up to you guys to protect our country and our way of life. I'm currently serving as the chairperson of the Connecticut House Republicans, which is a great honor for me. But what I did before serving in that position was almost equally exciting. I was both ranking member and then the chair of the internship committee for the Connecticut General Assembly. And I volunteered or really asked for that position. It wasn't something that most legislators saw as a very powerful position. But I had a vision of creating a program that would bring young Republicans into the General Assembly. And not only would you get an opportunity to see what we did, but it would give us an opportunity to identify young college-age Republicans who really had the enthusiasm and the passion and the put your feet on the ground kind of attitude that we could use to help in our races. Over the years, that vision has completely come true. I can tell you that Nicole Klein, who's taking pictures back there, we met through her internship program. I don't know if any of you know Jeff Marvin. He was a UConn grad. He did our internship program and ended up working in the Lieutenant Governor's office. There's just such a long list of interns who are now working within the Republican organization. So I was very excited to have that opportunity, and I continue to be thrilled to work with young people like yourselves that are really going to take the place of all of us older Republicans. I think that what you stand for is so important as you're standing for the Republican principles that all of us hold so close to our heart. It's the reason that I have two sons. They've grown up with me being gone too much of the time. But I do it because I believe in the same principles that you do. And if I don't fight for them, and if you don't take over and fight for them, we're going to lose that way of life. Principles like believing in the Constitution of the United States of America. There's too many people that believe that the Constitution is to protect the government's powers. But you and I know that that Constitution is to protect us from the government having too much power. And if I don't take the time to fight for that, and you don't do the same, the reversal that's already starting to take place will continue until the power of the people is completely eroded. I work because of principles like freedom, freedom to make my own darn decisions. I do not want President Obama and his Congress and the Democrats in the state of Connecticut in my household telling me, this is the doctor you're going to use, this is the food you're going to feed your children. I want to feed my kids healthy food. I don't want some bureaucrat telling me what food to feed my children. And that's the direction that both the state and federal government are going. And principles like individual responsibility. I grew up in a very blue-collar family. My dad was a union carpenter. I knew from day one that when I became a young adult, in my household, there wasn't going to be money for people to pay for me to go to college. If I wanted anything out of this life, it was totally my responsibility to achieve it. And knowing that, I think that has made me a better and a stronger person. And I think most Americans want the opportunity. They may need the old-fashioned saying, I need a hand up, not a hand out. It's a right, it's an American right to work, to be paid a fair wage for that work, and to support yourself. I think all of the government handouts that are out there, we are doing such a disservice, especially to young people, because they get caught in a vicious cycle of dependence. These are things that drive me and motivate me every day to go to Hartford and to fight the Democrats, because the day I stop, or the day you stop, the way of life that your parents had and the way your parents raised you will be gone. It's an exciting opportunity right now because as Republicans, you all know that there's some wind on our back. For the first time in a long time, we're feeling like there's a possibility for real change. Not Barack Obama change, but real change back in the right direction. We see that we might pick up a U.S. Senate seat for the first time in ages, and to have a woman, we see that opportunity. We think that we can hold the governor's office, and at the same time, what's nearest and dearest to my heart is possibly we can change the number of Republicans and Democrats in the General Assembly. God knows we need to do it. But I can tell you right now, I talk to candidates all over the place. Some of them have the false perception that It's a Republican year. We're going to pick up seats. We will not pick up seats if people like me and my colleagues don't work our tail off. And we won't pick up seats if you guys go out there feeling a little wind on your back and a little confidence, because between now and Election Day, you've never ever had to work harder than we do right now. The most exciting thing going on right now are the candidates running for office. This is my 5th election, hopefully going into my 9th year. I've always been involved in helping other people with their races as much as possible. Never before have we had such fantastic candidates running for office. I know we have some of your colleagues yourself, Tim and Plunges running. I met Tim over a year ago at a completely different type of political function. The guy's on fire. You can't buy that. You can't raise money. You can't buy passion. And that's what our candidates have right now. And if you and I commit to helping them by doing all the things that you're sick and tired of hearing about volunteering, going door to door, bringing a friend to the polls, if you and I do that for the fantastic candidates we have, pray to God we may be able to reverse a trend that not only is going to impact you and I, but your families. I mean, it sounds early for you to think of this, but the money that we're borrowing right now in state and federal government, I personally am not going to have to pay that back. You are, and your kids are. So it's never been more important that all of us band together, work together, go to the polls in November, change the direction of our state and federal government. So thank you all very much for giving me a few minutes of your time. I'm impressed that so many of you are here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. That speaks volumes. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If not, I appreciate the opportunity to just be here for a short period of time. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Your information is also on